Good evening and welcome to this edition of the Angela Ray Show. I am your host, Angela Ray. So excited to have you on tonight. If you all are catching tonight's broadcast on the replay, be sure to slide into those comments and give me a hashtag replay, whether you are watching this on Facebook or on YouTube. For my live viewers, I'm so excited to have you on tonight because we are doing something completely different that we have never done before. And that is we're going to launch a 4-week challenge on tonight. I'll talk a little bit more about that once I bring on my guest. Now, for those of you who were either on the broadcast last week, as I talked to motivational speaker Tish Norman, you knew that we kind of very organically came up with this idea of working together as a community to declutter and get organized. So we put out the call for some professional organizers, and we have one on with us tonight. So can't wait to get into that discussion. But before we do, you know how we start. Each and every single night off, we start off with our Ray of Motivation moment. And for our Ray of Motivation moment on tonight, I'm going to actually take this one from something that I posted on Instagram a little bit earlier today. And that is, you are not relieved of your assignment when you find out someone else is doing it. And that came from Princess Gooden. I saw her post that on Facebook a week or two ago, and it just resonated with me so much that I decided to share it. And that is, you are not relieved of your assignment when you find out someone else is doing it. You know, there have been times in my life where I was getting ready to launch a new project or something different, particularly as it pertains to the arts, and kind of felt like, oh, I don't want anybody to think I'm biting this person or copying this person, or better yet, thinking that, okay, we both have similar audiences or we know a lot of the same people. So maybe I shouldn't do this after all. But you have to know, when you are on assignment, when you have been given something in your bosom, when you have something in your heart, in your spirit, in your soul that is just waiting to be birthed, there are people, there is an audience, there are customers that are waiting to be served by the gift that you have and the way that you deliver it. You know, there are so many different churches in America. There are so many different churches in every individual city. And what I always find interesting about that is many times all of those churches have people in pews, even though very often the leaders, the pastors, the teachers may be giving out the same message. And that is because some people learn in one way, some people find growth in another, while there's a whole other sect of people who feel connected, empowered, and encouraged in another. So think about how many times you see a new church or a new place of worship pop up, and yet there are people who find their way to that location and to that building. It's the same thing with you. When you are on assignment, whether that is a business, a nonprofit organization, a creative idea, maybe even something you are doing while you are employed by another person, when you are on assignment, it doesn't matter how many people are doing it. It just matters that you take the first step in faith and know that if you keep putting one foot in front of the other, that your audience and that your community will find you. And that is tonight's Ray of Motivation moment. Well, again, as I said a little bit earlier, I'm really excited for tonight's guest. We talked about this challenge that we wanted to issue, and we do have a professional organizer and a certified life coach with us tonight. She was born in Harlem, New York, raised in money earning Mount Vernon, but currently resides in Eastern North Carolina. She is the founder of Smithwick Enterprises, providing certified life coaching. She is also the producer of her own talk show and podcast, Let's Talk 1943, and she is the author of Adoption, the Unknown Blessing. So please help me welcome my guest on tonight, ReGina Smithwick. ReGina, thank you so much
Hello.
for being on the show tonight.
Thank you for that great introduction, and thank you for allowing me to be on your platform this evening. I'm looking forward to it. Very excited about it.
I am excited too. Okay, Edwin, go ahead now saying, okay, Pastor Angela, you're preaching already. I feel that in my shana na na. That is hilarious. That is definitely hilarious. So, as I was kind of teasing a little bit at the top of the
Mhm,
broadcast, last week we talked about wanting to kind of get better organized, especially here at the top of the year. So many people
mhm.
have New Year's resolutions. They are looking to turn over a new leaf, wanting to do things differently, want to start the new year off right. And one way to do that is to getting organized. But oftentimes getting organized means getting rid of some stuff and
Yeah.
decluttering. And so really excited to talk to you, Regina, tonight about that. So first off, I'd love to hear from you. How did you get started as a professional organizer?
It wasn't a dream of mine or anything. It was like one of those things that it just kind of developed when I was a teenager. I was into keeping my room clean, doing all that. But what really kicked in when I had my twin boys, and when you have twins, you have to have systems and processes. You can't just wing it. It's called like bathe, dry, lotion, powder, diaper, next. Bathe, dry, lotion,
Oh my gosh.
so everything is kind of like a system. So when I had to start realizing like I need to do processes to streamline them so I could get in and out of these things. So when I started organizing my room a certain way and getting the pampers on this side, the table changer on this side, and I started really looking at like, oh, I started getting satisfaction from that. But when I really thought about it, when I was younger, I like transformations. I've always been into that. I love to see before and afters. I like to watch people get their hair done and see the after. And like, remember that movie Grease? Everybody knows Grease is, right?
Grease is the word.
Grease.
It's the
Yep.
word. I remember
Where
that
it's
song.
the
I can't remember the movie, but I remember that song right now.
word. Yeah. I love that movie because one of the first movies that had a big transformation. Because you remember Olivia Newton-John in the movie was, the kind of like quiet girl, and at the end she was transformed to this beautiful. I've always been into that. So organization is that it's a transformation. So I love to see people lives organized. I like to see people minds organized. So I just have a knack for that. So that's my passion and purpose.
And so now that you are in it and you're working with individuals, what would you say has been one of your biggest transformations, either in mindset that eventually impacted the physical, or just someone, sometimes the light bulb goes off for someone and they
Mm-hmm.
get it, and then
Mm-hmm.
they can put those things that you're trying to teach them into action. So, do you have one that you can share with us?
Sure. I think my biggest one was more than just cleaning someone's home and organize it. Like you said, the mindset. After I did a transformation, she changed her ways in doing other things in life. And it just kept going and kept going. And then she got a new job out of it. That she, moving. And it's like she started with one little clean out her car. Then she asked me to come back and help her clean out her pantry. And then she asked me to come back. So when I did all that, every time I did that, it's like she would just get herself organized at the same time. So she changed her whole life over me coming over to clean her car out one time. So it was amazing,
Wow,
totally amazing. She
that
took it to
does
heart. She
sound.
really she received it. She really took it seriously and received it. She didn't see me as a maid. She saw me as a transformational person, and she took it and she ran with it and she made the best out of it. So her investment was well worth it. Well worth it, especially getting that job.
Yeah, definitely. So, what would you say are some of the obstacles that you find with people when they say, let
Mm-hmm.
me clarify that. When they say they want to get organized, or they say they want to declutter, they say they want to get rid of things, they say they want to live with less. What are some of the obstacles to that?
They want all of that, Angela, but they don't want to get rid of nothing. They want everything you just said, and they looking at you like, "Well, do it." Okay, all right, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do this. Okay, get the trash can. Trash can for what? We have to get rid of some of this stuff, but I still use this. It's expired. It says the date a year ago. You don't use that no more. A lot of people don't like, and the thing about it, when a lot of people are raised with not having, and when they finally able to purchase and have, even though it's expired, they feel like they was taught not to waste nothing and not to throw food out because they didn't have food when they were younger like that. even though it's expired, but there's something in them that's saying, I got to keep this because, we don't throw food out. So that's the mindset of some people. So you got to kind of let them explain that you're going to get sick. You cannot eat this. You have to throw it out. Like I know, but it's hard when you was raised and your mother kept telling you better not waste no food on your plate. You better not do this. You better not do that. They take it with them in adulthood and they still don't do. They don't throw out, even though it's old. So I have to deal with really, it's mostly psychological. It's 80% psychological. You may get some people just lazy. They just don't want to do nothing. They throw stuff around and then they get overwhelmed. They want you to come and clean it out. And then they do it all over again. But most of it is psychological.
Now, the example that you used for primarily was food in terms of people not wanting to throw out expired food. Do you find that that is where most people's issues lie? Old canned goods, old spices, and just an asterisk there. I won't call a name, but I was just looking at a Facebook page. I think it was yesterday, and she was talking about her grandmother and how she had I think she reshared a post. I'm gonna say the post may have been from 4 years ago,
Okay.
but she literally had some like a jar or a can of spices, and it said 1979. And I know sometimes I've had things to get to the back of the cabinet. I know I have, but that one was like, wow. Okay. And I do know, like, in certain particularly in the Black community, there was a time that people had spice racks, and I think they were more for decorations.
Yeah.
You never use those spices. They were just there. So I
It had
get that
nuts
too.
like that thick on it.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, I totally get that. That's a cultural thing. But when I saw that 1979, I was like, oh, okay. Again, maybe it just got, she said, she was cleaning out the cabinets for us, so maybe it just got pushed to the back.
Oh,
But
yeah.
would you say food and things in the kitchen are tougher to get rid of? Or is it more things like clothes and, that 45 album from, the Supremes in the 60s or whatever, and they don't even own a record player anymore?
Don't 12 inches now. You can see some 8 tracks up in there too sometimes too. The food is, because what people end up doing with the food is they'll buy more and they put it in the front, and like you said, other ones get pushed back. Rarely somebody goes, let me go clean out my cabinets. Like, people don't do that on a norm. They just kind of think they're going to eat through everything and they're going to just eat through it, and but it doesn't work that way. So you got that 1979 all the way in the back, and you don't realize it's back there because you don't go back there because you keep filling up the front part again. And we have to start scheduling days to, like, once a year, just like you do your alarms. I mean, and your fire alarms and all that, once or twice a year, you change the battery. Once a year, springtime, clean out your kitchen cabinet. Just pull everything out the cabinets and just wipe them down and clean them out and put stuff back. I guarantee you'll be amazed at how much you got to throw out. But the other part of your question is, the next place is your bedroom. Most people spend most of their time in their bedroom and their kitchen. That's mostly the used parts of the house. And when your bedrooms, a lot of times when you get there, you're tired. You're coming from work or you're coming from going out, whatever. Usually you're tired because that room is for you to sleep. So by the time you get there, you're throwing stuff everywhere and just jumping into bed. So a lot of times we and they think about little stuff, this little things like receipts and papers and pennies and nickels and stuff all over your counter and all over your dresser. That's the stuff that gets you, because you got to take time, because they're tedious little things. You got to take time to look at them, go through them, put them up. The clothes, most people go through, especially when you get our age, you start doing the little weight up and down fluctuating thing. You gain weight, you lose weight. Men start gaining weight. So some of the clothes they have no choice but to get rid of because they can't wear them. So they have to get them out of there. So it's forced out the closet. But majority of people, clothes is usually just all over the floor. They just got to organize them and put them back in the closet in the right way, because we have more space than what we think. The problem is we use the wrong hangers, and we hang up the clothes the wrong way, and we just put them on anything and just throw them in the closet with no organization and no system. And then you say, I don't know room in my closet. Yes, you do. I guarantee you, if I pull everything out and put it back the way it's supposed to be, you're going to have major spots in your closet you can use. So I think that a lot of times you just got to learn how to do it, learn the process.
There's a process. All right, we do have a question from Edwin, one of our very loyal viewers here at the Angela Ray Show. In today's world, we have a lot of electronic waste, old smartphones, desktop computers, iPads, etc. How do we dispose of our technology safely without compromising our security. I.e., those pictures that he took at Freaknik in 1999. He don't want to throw that, just throw
You
that
can't
cell
throw
phone
that
away.
out.
How do you dispose of that?
You can't throw the. Now you got to keep the Freaknik pictures. You ain't never gonna have that again. You got to keep that. But it's what you do is usually an electronic store in your town that you could call up, and a lot of times they dispose. Now you have to trust them because you're going to give it to them, and they're going to deprogram your stuff, and they have a place that they take their things. A lot of times people say like smash your stuff up, break it up, smash it, and you can take it to like the compound place for them to go ahead and compose it or whatever. In some form of fashion, you got to trust somebody because you're not going to physically do it. So just find a reputable place in your town, like a computer. Usually we'll use computer stores. They usually would take it, strip it down. Sometimes they'll let you sit there while they deprogram your stuff and see, make sure it's clear. If you have time, you can sit there and watch them. But if you can find someone that somebody can recommend to you, then you have more trust. And then maybe you'll go ahead and because that's what a lot of people do. They hold on to their old phones because they're scared to let it go. Because I swear I had about 4 or 5 phones too, until I had found a place that I was able to take them to and trust them with the stuff. So that's be my recommendation. Unless the phone is really old, you can take the SIM card out and you're okay. But usually now these phones are not SIM card anymore, so you're gonna have to get rid of them.
Mm-hmm. So you got the Freaknik 99 t-shirt. Okay, see?
Ooh. And actually, dag, I didn't know Freaknik was still going on in 99. It sure was.
Yeah, I don't remember. I didn't make it. I was
I did the mid 90s. I did 96, 97.
Okay. I missed an entire era of college fun. So that is our electronics. You were talking about perhaps cleaning out, kitchen cabinets once a year just to get the stuff in the back. But you also mentioned the emotional aspect. So in terms of food, oftentimes it's like you said, especially for people who didn't grow up with a lot, I got to hold on to this. I don't want to be wasteful. What are those emotional issues though around either clothes or as you mentioned 8-track tapes or things that are completely obsolete?
Yeah. Like 8-tracks now in our generation is the CDs. Those are our generational 8-tracks. Because now we use streaming. We don't even use that no more. And most cars don't even have CDs no more. A lot of people said they don't want to give away their CDs. For a good example, Al Roker on the other day, they were talking about that. And he was like, I'm not getting rid of my CDs because if something ever happens with this system, I could always have my music and I have a CD player. And that's true. And that's true. But if you have a way of storing it, you're good. There's a lot of storing options you could buy to put your albums in and all that to make them neat and out the way and cool. But if you don't have a system, that's the thing. You're going to have stuff everywhere. That's going to be a problem. Now, I still went through all my CDs. I have some CDs that I know I'm not going to listen to that somebody gave to me. I just kept it. I went ahead and gave them away. I took them to Goodwill, let them, But if you have enough, there's a CD holders you could buy or CD places or storage units you could buy and label them. That's the key. When you have things like that, label R&B, hip hop, whatever you have to label, because a lot of times we throw stuff in boxes and we don't know what's in them and we won't go open them because we don't know what's in them. So then we start it all over again. So the time, it takes time. But when you get a system, that you just maintain a system is easier. The front end is going to take you a little time to get it together. But when you get it together and have your system, anything else you add to it, you're just adding and maintaining it. So it's easier. But anything you have, make sure you label exactly what's in those boxes so you know exactly how to order them and how to put them up and know where to go get what you need to get out of them.
So now we've talked about the psychological aspect of holding on. And you said, sometimes people are lazy. So let's fast forward. What are some of the benefits of decluttering and organizing?
Peace of mind. The peace of mind that you get to know that you can look in your room and just look around and you feel lighter. The room feels the air. You can feel air circulating. You ever been to a room that's really, really cluttered and it's always hot in that room? And you don't
Did you say it's always hot in the room when the room is cluttered?
Yes, rooms are hot when they clutter because it takes up space and takes up the air, and the air don't circulate because room, you need air to circulate to fill when you have stuff in the way, it stops the air from moving and you get hot because room nothing's moving in there. So when you clean out a room, oh my gosh, you just feel like the room is it just feels airy. It feels like it's cooler, especially in the summer times. It feels so much better in that room, and then it's lighter because a lot of times your stuff blocks light in your room, so your room always look dark looking. So when you clean your room out, it just gives it a whole airy, light feeling, and then that's how you're gonna feel. You're gonna feel light and airy. You're not gonna feel it's burden. You're not gonna feel like when you go into some of the rooms, by the hoarder rooms, don't you feel like it's kind of caving on you? And you feel like, like I'm gonna like lose it because I can't even move. But when you have that space back, you just whole personality, your whole life just shifts when you have a clean, organized room. That means you have a clean, organized mind. Your mind goes with your room set. I don't care what nobody tells you. I live in chaos. That's the way I know your brain ain't supposed to do that because now your brain is overthinking, trying to figure out where things are at. You're supposed to be able to look in your room, across your room, and look at everything and know where everything is at. I should be able to look in your closet and pick an outfit out from outside of your closet. Because if your closet organized, I can say I'm gonna wear those jeans with that shirt and those shoes. And I could be outside of the closet and tell you that. Because I can see everything. Everything's organized. I got everything color coded. I know where my jeans are at. I know where my slacks are at. I know where my dresses are at. All my shoes are color coded on the floor. So when you go get dressed in the morning, it should take you less than 5 minutes to go in your closet and pick an outfit out.
Okay, so apparently my closet needs work. I'm just gonna go ahead on and be honest with everybody. Apparently my closet needs some work because sometimes I walk in there and I walk out and I come back. Might do that 3 or 4 times because I'm frustrated and
See?
everything is hanging up. Like I'll say,
See?
for the most part, all my stuff is hanging up. I don't have, things all over the place. And I have jeans over here. And then I think I have a few blazers on this side is dresses. And then in the front, I think it's mainly shirts, sweatshirts, or jackets in the back. So it's semi-organized, but maybe that's not the best system. But yeah, sometimes I walk in there and I get frustrated. Edwin has another question for you.
Uh-huh.
Have you dealt with an extreme hoarder situation professionally or personally? And how did you handle it?
Personally, I had some people close to me that I was like, I need to help you out because you know what? They know me. I can't stay here if this is gonna. I gotta. They know what they're doing. They put me in rooms that they know I can't stay in. They know what they're doing because I before they go to bed that night, they come in there. Their room's cleaned out. I
Oh,
can't
wow.
sleep in the room. I can't do it. I'm hot. I can't do it. And I think that little bit of I don't want to claim OC. I don't want to claim it because I don't want to claim no disease or anything. But I have something, and and I just don't want. I just can't do it. It baffles me how people could sleep and stuff. But yes, I have dealt with someone that had that issue, and it takes a lot to clean out because they're going to be behind you on your heels asking you every question because obviously they got there for that reason because they can't throw nothing out. So when they say they need it done, they still don't want to throw nothing out. So they ask you, well, I could use that, I could use this, I could use that. Why are you throwing that out? Go get that to somebody else. Somebody else can use that. Don't get rid of it. Lucky enough, it was a family member, so I didn't have to. I was like, look, I'm throwing this out. I'm not going, and then after it was over, they was like, oh, it looks good in here. After they took you through like everything under the sun. But
Right.
yeah, it's very draining for an organizer because you're fighting like a war, literally, because someone is like fighting you because they don't want to do it, but they want to do it. So you're going through the nice little roller coaster ride with them all day because they're going through it and they pulling you in there with them and they get mad at you for what they done because they have to get mad at someone. They're not gonna get mad at themselves. So when you're a personal organizer, professional organizer, you have to really understand that you're going to be mentally drained sometimes when you do homes. You're going to be
Wow.
mentally drained. Mm-hmm. It's
Wow.
hard. It's not just going in there, taking a bag and start throwing stuff out. It's not that easy with some people.
If you're just joining us, we are here tonight with ReGina Smithwick. She is a professional organizer and a certified life coach as well, marrying those two together to help people really get their living spaces together, their cars, their homes, maybe even their office. So we talked, and I told you that we want to put together a challenge for our
Yes.
viewers here at the
Yes.
Angela Ray Show. So we have come up with this 4-week organize to energize challenge. Again, it's going to be 4 weeks. And so, Regina, I'm going to let you talk about each of those weeks. So let's
Okay.
talk through them.
Okay. So the first one we said we're going to do is the in the spotlight, your bedroom oasis, excuse me. So this is where your oasis is supposed to be. Your bedroom is where you rest to get ready for your next day. Your bedroom is where you are rejuvenating your cells and your mind and all that every night. So you need to have that room as organized as possible, because those hours that you sleep, self-consciously, your mind knows it's sleeping in a nice, clean, organized room. Your mind, your body knows it when it's sleep. It knows when it's chaotic and it knows when it's peaceful. That's why sometimes you don't get good sleep when you sleep, because you stressing out, whatever. So we want that to be the oasis. So that means cleaning out one. I'm gonna make this easy for everybody. So most people don't clean because it's overwhelming, because they go in the room and they don't know where to start. So what I would say is start with one drawer at a time, one section at a time. First thing I always tell people, do the top of your dresser, because that's what you see. Do the top of your dresser first. That's all you do. Don't think about nothing else. Don't touch nothing else. Don't do nothing else. Just do the top of your dresser. Then that you can look at it, go, oh, it looks good. Next day you come home, do one drawer. Then they do the next drawer and do the next drawer. So you have time to do each drawer. And then, tackle the closet one section at a time. Do the top part one day. Don't do nothing else. Do the bottom part the next day, then do one section and then one section. Let's kind of break it up so you're not overwhelmed. But in the process, you see it happening, so it gives you encouragement to keep going. So one thing at the time, one time, see the progress, continue it on. So that would be your bedroom oasis.
Okay, and so we talked about spending at least 1 hour per day. Can they
Mhm.
split that hour up? Like, just, if they're a little overwhelmed, can they put on some music, do 30 minutes, take a break, come back, do another 30 minutes?
Yeah, if that helps you at first, yes. If you really overwhelmed, if you're one of the type of people that gets overwhelmed really quickly, I would say yes, because the goal is changing your mind and changing your habit. Is going to take you time, but you have to do it. That's the whole point of changing your habits. So it's going to be hard. So if you need to break it up a little bit at first, and then you get better at it. I think as you see the progress happen, you get more into it. Then you won't need to get the breaks, because you start to see the progress happen. And then, you'll be able to give away some things that can help people. You can be able to sell some things that can help you. And then you'll be able to toss things away that can get out of there. So it's a win-win-win all the way across.
Ooh, now here is a great question. Edwin says, does organization increase or enhance bedroom magic? I like the way you put that.
You want my personal opinion?
Yeah, we do. We do. We do.
Look, if I'm not hot, yes, it does. Yes, it does. I mean, it should make your mind feel nice and peaceful and calm, so you can focus and concentrate on what you need to be focused and concentrating on, instead of you worrying about, this over here, all over the floor, this over here. You want to have that oasis. That's what it's called, oasis. Oasis is peaceful. It's somewhere you want to go and retreat to. Do you want to retreat to chaos at that time when you want to be romantic? That's not what you want. You don't want to be laying across a bunch of stuff on your bed. That's not romantic. And then that doesn't show effort. It shows effort when you do extra, keeping it clean, all that. How can you put rose petals and all that stuff down on clothes on your bed?
You got rose petals, potato chip,
But
you got an ink pen, a notepad, an iPad.
Yeah, you don't want a bathroom that has
A
rings
mouse pad. No.
You don't want rings in your tub when you're supposed to be doing a bubble bath. Like you want
Right.
You want to have a clean bathroom and a clean room when you want to romance your wife or husband. So I would recommend you to, yes, clean up your area before you decide to be romantic. Less thing of turn off would be a dirty room trying to be. You know what? And I'm gonna say something real quick, Angela. So people on social media, Please look at y'all backgrounds before y'all take pictures.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Please. I see so many people in bathrooms and bedrooms, and they don't realize the background is horrendous. And they look fly here, and in the back they have all this crap behind here. And they have dirty tubs in bathrooms and dirty curtains. Come on. Come on. That don't look good, because if you're presenting yourself, you're showing us who you are. We see the illusion you're giving us with the picture, but we see your reality in the back. So just keep
Definitely.
that in mind.
Definitely. If you are just joining us again, we are talking to professional organizer and licensed life coach ReGina Smithwick, and we're in the midst of detailing this 4-week challenge, Organize to Energize. So we just talked about week one, and week
Mhm.
one is all about in the spotlight. You're going to put the spotlight on either one spot or one drawer in your bedroom to create an oasis.
That's
That
right.
is week number one. All right, ReGina, let's talk about week number two. What are we doing for week number two?
That is memory overhaul. So we're going to be talking about organizational items, and we're going to talk real briefly about that. We had a joke. We were talking about this because we both in Greek organizations, and when you're in a Greek organization, and I would say any organization, you could be the 4-H club. It doesn't matter what it is. Any organization gives you a lot of paraphernalia and a lot of memorabilia. Like, it comes with the organization. You're going to get a bunch of stuff, and you can't throw it out. You got to give it away to someone else, or think of ways of having a way of maybe getting the group together, doing swap meets, or doing basically swap meets. You really want to sell it to somebody because it's used. You want to kind of swap, and maybe you could get stuff that you're actually going to use, because we have so many items. I know I do, and we were talking about you do too, that we end up giving to other sorority sisters. Let them use it, because they will use it instead of me just holding on to it, because you don't want to, because we're not allowed to throw it out. So I would say that photos, movie tickets, concert tickets, anything that's memorable that you got to keep, do something with it. Maybe you could get a nice little picture frame and put all your concert tickets in there, and have it nicely framed, so you can have all your memories, all your concerts you ever went to, your pictures. You get your photo books, photo boxes. Label the photo boxes so you know which ones are in there. Just don't throw all
Yes.
the photos in the box, because that's defeating the purpose. You're gonna have to organize them and put them in family, kids or grandparents, or your father's side, your mother's side, whatever, and label the boxes, so when people look at them, even when you leave this world, your kids could go, "Oh, this is our pictures. This is grandma pictures. This is," and it will keep everything organized. Um, People get like those shirts, different type of shirts, signed, signature, shirts from different people, balls. They have they have people that actually frame that stuff for you in a nice shirts and all that, and you can get that done. So it's so many things you could do with these things, to get them hanged up on a wall so they off of your floors, or out of your cabinets or whatever. So I would recommend that. So let's get that overhaul. Pull all that stuff together. It may take a little time. I know pictures are tedious. They very tedious. I know, but you're gonna have to eventually do it eventually. So I would say just work on that.
Okay, so again, if you're just joining us, we're in the midst of detailing this 4-week Organize to Energize challenge. We are now, ReGina just shared with us week number two, and that is our memorabilia overhaul. So looking through all of the and if you don't have memorabilia, you can either spend a little bit more time on your bedroom or another bedroom of your house, or you can move to week three.
Mm-hmm.
But I think most of us, we have something we eat. We have photos, we have old yearbooks. I know I have
Mm-hmm.
my yearbooks, and I have scrapbooks from college. I have
Mm-hmm.
concert tickets. I have a sporting events tickets.
Mm-hmm.
I have I have 50 million elephants. I'm a Delta. It is what
Yes,
it is. I have 50
I know
million
you got a
elephants.
bunch of those.
I got t-shirts and, all kinds of, trinkets and paperweights and all kinds of things. And that's just from that organization. But as ReGina said, you may have other things, because in addition to my Delta connection collection, I also have so many things from UNC, everything from cups and popcorn holders, to some of my nice little name badges, especially for when I went back to homecoming and it was like my 10-year
Mm-hmm.
class reunion and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I know I have tons and tons of memorabilia. And so
Mhm.
thinking about how to get that organized. And so for those of you who may be in organizations, whether that is a sorority or a fraternity, maybe you're in Jack and Jill, maybe you are Eastern Star, maybe you are a Mason, maybe you have other organizations that you are part of, and you have
Mhm.
every single conference bag that they gave you since 1999, or you have those
Me.
t-shirts and all of that stuff. Another way to connect is, as ReGina said, you can have a barter. Just get together. Either you can do a group me. We do understand there is still a pandemic. You might not want to be
Mhm.
a lot of people around a lot of people, but you can actually put together a group me and take pictures of your items, and then first person to respond to claim that item can claim
Yep.
that item. But you definitely want to organize all and overhaul all
Mhm.
of your memorabilia.
Yes.
Ooh, here is a good question before we go to week 3.
Okay.
ReGina, do you have tips for junk mail? I throw that away. Coupons, I throw that away. Menus, I have too many. Are you a fan of going paperless?
I'm kind of old school with mixed with the new. I think the generation like where we at in the 70 babies, 80 babies, we were raised with paper and we kind of got out of it a little bit, but we still trust the paper more than technology. So we kind of like in that little middle spot, that sweet spot. So I personally don't go paperless with everything. Like with my bills and stuff, I like to get my bills in the mail still. I know that sounds kind of old school because some people don't want them. They like, no, I want my bills in the mail because I don't trust the system sometimes. And they'll say you didn't pay something and you did. And you're like, no, I did. It's right here. But I have a system though. I have it organized. I have envelopes. And every year I get rid of the year before. I just keep it for 12 months just to make sure it clears, everything's good, nobody's coming back at you for something, and then I get rid of it. So I have a system. So I'm not saying if you don't have a system, don't keep it because it's just going to pile up on your table. When it comes to junk mail, as soon as I bring it in the house, I go through it. I throw the papers and the coupons and stuff in my recycle bin, and then I take the mail that you get, like maybe credit card offers and all that stuff that you don't want to throw in the mail. I have a shredder, and I go ahead and just put it in the shredder that day. Literally, I go upstairs and put it in the shredder. Or if you don't have a shredder and you take it somewhere to get shredded, you have a box or something, you keep it in, just put it in that box. Because I have a place that charge like $20 for 60 pounds of paper, and that's a lot of paper. And I just wait until it gets. I have like a big box that I keep it in, and I wait till it gets filled up, and then I take it down to that place and they shred it for me. So I have both a shredder and I do big shredding.
Or if you're really old school, you can do like my mama. Just tear that stuff up and put in the trash can. Just tear it up. Tear it up in a piece. That's what my mama does. So, all
Yeah,
right.
well, see, that's before the shredder. Everybody that's tear it up, or let's even get more. If you're in the southern states, a lot of times you burn your own trash. So a
Yep,
lot of
that is
people
true.
have their trash in the back, and they just burn it themselves. So. Mhm.
Create a nice little smoke for those mosquitoes. All right, let's go on to week 3. I know I just went back. Let's go on to
Yeah, you
week
went back.
3.
All right, week 3 is the another spotlight. Now this is your kitchen chronicles. So this is, I know it's tedious. I know kitchen could be tedious, but yes, cleaning your kitchen, and you could do it the same way you do your bedroom, one cabinet at a time, one drawer at a time. You know, I know some things because we do have junk drawers usually in the kitchen and stuff like that. You got to clean out your
Ooh.
junk drawers. Your junk drawers are junk for a period of time. It's not forever. You're supposed to clean out your junk drawers so you can make space for more stuff. But I always say have a junk drawer. You need some kind of drawer you can just be wilding with. You just throw stuff in. You want to have something that you could just plop stuff in. You don't want to think every moment. So allow yourself a junk drawer so you could do that, but you have to still clean out the junk drawer because eventually you won't be enough room to put nothing in there until you clean it out. But I would say start with the spices and your food because I guarantee you're gonna find inspired food in there, and that should start you off on learning a system how to go food shopping. Because a lot of times we go food shop, we buy things that we're not going to use on a regular basis, or we buy stuff that we want to try once or twice and we don't really. So think about what you're throwing out. Don't buy it again because obviously you don't use it. Don't
Mhm,
repeat it.
mhm.
Don't repeat that cycle. So put all the food together that you're going to throw out and make sure you take a memory note of it, take a picture of it, do something and say, okay, I'm not going to buy this no more because I bought it and I wasted it. That will help you save some money.
All right. So in the spotlight, the Kitchen Chronicles. Want to make sure we're cleaning out those refrigerators,
Oh,
freezers, cabinets, cleaning out those pots. You know, that pot that's real cute that Aunt Susie May gave you 25 years ago, but you've
mm.
never used. You
And the
can
handles
give that
broke.
to somebody or you can sell it, especially if it's in great condition. But that is week 3, and we're rounding it out to week 4. And so what are we doing in week 4?
Now that's closet catch up, catch it all, closet catch it all. So what your closets? We went kind of went about your closet a little bit tonight, but your closets, I'm gonna give you some tidbits. I would recommend to you to go buy thin hangers. If they are velvet hangers or they could be plastic with the little velvet strips on there. What they do is they make sure your clothes stay on there so they don't slide and slip. Even the material, the softer material clothing or your silks, whatever, it would not fall off this hanger. It's meant to hold everything on there. That's going to help you out because, first of all, it doesn't give you creases in your pants and it keeps all your shirts up there and it won't have those little bits in your shirt. Sometimes with sweaters, you get those little bits because the way the hanger is, and it saves you space in your closet. It takes away inches off your closet because those big, thick plastic hangers or the no wire hangers, wire hangers are no. When you get them from the cleaners, you take them and you put them in the recycle and you put them on your regular hangers. Do not, because a lot of people do that and they keep it in the plastic. It doesn't save your clothes by keeping it in the plastic. It doesn't do anything. So just take them out the plastic. It's only for you to transport to your home. It's not meant for you to keep it in the plastic bag while it's in your closet. Your closet's not dirty. It's not gonna nothing's gonna happen to it. That takes up space. So it's gonna take you a little money at first because you got to buy hangers, but they usually on sale at Bed Bath & Beyond and Walmart. They really have good sales on these hangers, or even Amazon. They have great sales on Amazon for hangers. It will save you time at the end because it's easy to hang your clothes on, and it will save you tons of space. Tons of space. When you get them plastic hangers that are about three good 2 inches thick to a half an inch, you're gonna notice a major difference in your closet. So that's a tidbit for your closet.
Okay. All right, so there we are. We have 4 weeks, our organized to energize. And so I know one of the things that you and I had talked about before we got
Mhm.
on the broadcast is,
Mhm.
getting organized, but also preparing where all this excess is going to go. So we
Mhm.
talked about the different bins that you can have, like one for
Mhm.
Craigslist or
Mhm.
Facebook Marketplace or OfferUp. These are things that, or even Poshmark. I've been seeing those commercials, things
Yes.
that you're going to sell. Then there
Mhm.
are things that maybe you don't even feel like selling anything. You're just like, I don't feel like doing that. So those are things that you can donate. Goodwill,
Mhm.
Salvation Army, a women's shelter,
Yes.
any of those places that accept things. And then there are things that you like, yeah, I've had these pants since I was high school skinny. I probably should not try to give these to anyone. And those are things that you that you're just going to throw away.
Mhm.
So those are our 3 bins. Did we talk about another bin for items as we're sorting, Regina?
No, it's toss, keep, or donate. Those are the 3
Okay.
bins that you're gonna have: toss, keep, and donate. And remember, when you give away, you're helping somebody who doesn't have. A lot of times as Americans, we have over enough of stuff. Like we don't. It's so many things that we have that we really don't need. We just wanted it because it was just a need, not a want. I mean, a want, not a need. Excuse me. So think about other people who don't have anything. Open your heart. Let them have it. You're not using it. Simple things that you're not thinking of. Somebody needs that pan to cook. They can't afford to buy a pan, or they can't afford to buy shoes for their son, and you got the shoes and you don't wear them. So give them so the son can have some shoes to go to school. He don't want to go to school with no holes in his foot. I mean his shoe. So give away and then sell. The things that you sell, you could actually do things on your home, like home improvement. Like a lot of people sell a lot of good items that they actually could make a difference in their home and buy things they need for their house or buy things they need for their car or pay a bill or whatever it is. So think of it that way. You're going to find money in your home. So I would say recommend you to take the time. Facebook Marketplace is easy to sell items, Craigslist, eBay, all those places. So it takes a little
Forgot
time,
about
but it's worth
eBay.
it.
It's been a while. I had to get off eBay because one time I think I had a mild addiction. It was like some people's Amazon now, especially
Yeah.
with bidding, because we get down to the last 10 seconds and I would think I had something. All of a sudden, someone outbid me in 3 seconds and then I couldn't get my bid in. I was hot. So, yes, I had to
Yeah.
get off
eBay
eBay
was
because it
something
was just
else.
like, Yeah, it was. I was way too wrapped up in eBay. But that's it, everyone. That is our Organize to Energize 4 week challenge. We're going to
Mhm.
be posting throughout the week. Want to make sure that you are on the A list. How do you get on the A list? Send an email to the A list at angelaray.tv. Again, that's the A list at angelaray.tv, because we're going to be sending out emails each week to remind you what the weeks are. And we have some great incentives for
Mhm.
you as well. Regina's already said one of those incentives is peace of mind. Number two,
Mhm.
another incentive is finding money in your home that you didn't even know was there. But if that isn't enough, we have some other incentives for you as well. And Regina actually has a planner and organize. We're going to be giving that away at some point during this 4 weeks as well. So,
Mhm.
Regina, do you happen to have one of those planners handy?
Now, I don't have it handy. It's
Okay.
on Amazon, but I will be having them shortly being sent to me. And it's
Okay.
called Organization Planner. And it just kind of helps you put all your information in one book, your doctor's appointments, medications, your contact information, your web address information, to keep those user IDs and passwords together. It just has everything in there for you to be organized and structured instead of having stuff all over the place. You could have it, and it's geared to anyone because I use planners, I use agenda books, I write because it helps me memorize it than putting it in the phone. So I write. So, and especially for elder people, it's a great tool for them, and it's a great tool for you if you're a caretaker. You could take that book, and everything's in that book. Everything that your mother, father, or whoever you're taking care of is in that one book instead of trying to go around the house trying to find all this stuff. So I'm gonna definitely give away two of those books during this challenge.
And then, of course, you'll be back at the end of the 4 weeks as well.
Yes.
We encourage you all to take before pictures. Now, if your
Yes.
bedroom is just like, I can't show nobody this, that's okay. Maybe you want to just show some before pictures of your kitchen cabinets or your kitchen
Mm-hmm.
drawers or even your car. And that's another thing. We had talked about a daily Monday through Friday is when you
Mm-hmm.
will work on your challenge. So, week one being in the spotlight, creating that bedroom oasis, 1 hour Monday through Friday. But then
Mm-hmm.
on Saturday, spend some time getting your car together as well.
Mhm,
And Sundays, of course, we take the day off. Again,
mhm,
we're going to have all of the rules shared and posted on social media, but also we want to make sure that you are a part of the A list so that you can get those weekly reminders and get a part of the drawings for the incentives that will be given away
mhm.
throughout this challenge. And as we wrap up, Regina, do you have any final tips for those who are really serious about getting organized and decluttering?
Yes, let's simplify your life. Let's simplify your life. So to do that is to do these things that we told you today. Your first step would be your mindset. So, hey, you have a couple of days before we get started. So go ahead and start thinking about how you're going to do the process and what time you're going to give yourself. You say, I could do it every day at 7 or 6. Start scheduling that time in every day so you won't have, mistakes or excuses or whatever. You have time. You have from now until Monday to get started. So let's go ahead and get that mindset together so you'll be successful in this 4 week challenge.
Absolutely. We will be kicking off on Monday. Regina, thank you so much for being here on tonight. Definitely a pleasure to have you guiding us through this
Thank
very
you.
important challenge at a very good time of the year to really kick it off
That's
in
right.
high gear. Looking forward to checking back in with you at the end of the 4 weeks and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you so much. I enjoyed. Thank you so much, Angela.
Thank you. All right, that is it for this week's Angela Ray Show. As always, I would like to remind you all of Ray of Motivation number 54. Cleaning a mirror does not change the person who is reflected in it. Until next time, I encourage you all to go out and be the change. See you next week.